Hi, everyone. Welcome to my suicide awareness and prevention series. This week is a week you're probably unaware of. It's the something that was created through the medical field and awareness. It's the National Suicide Awareness Prevention Week from September 5th to September 11th. So it's a very significant week, and September 10th is actual World Prevention Awareness on September 10th. So a lot of activities going on in a lot of areas. I myself are going to UMass Medical tomorrow to network and meet other fellow awareness prevention speakers and also suicide survivors and people that are looking for awareness. So I'm going to attend that tomorrow and hopefully get some important information as we go along. Well, for the week being of awareness, yeah, let's make it about awareness. Okay, let's talk about it. It's awareness for our own health, which I did a health video about, but the awareness of the ones around us, and really observing and seeing what is going on with our loved ones. Is there patterns going on, and we need to be aware of this. Because suicide attempters, will you know they'll not be truthful because it's shameful. It's shameful to get in this position, and it's just against our culture, and for hard work in society, it doesn't fall in correctly. Although there's more sensitivity to it when it hits home and when it's one of our loved ones, we just don't want to believe it. We don't want to believe that somebody is thinking about taking their own life. And of course, if you are in that position, if you're on the other side of the screen here, and you're suffering in darkness, which I've been there twice, that darkness can be very profound and very scary. And I think it's very important that you reach out to someone that you're close to and tell them you're afraid and that you are thinking about hurting yourself. Because when you get into these psychotic thoughts and you think about hurting yourself, you could very well attempt and be successful. And I always say in my program, and it's my motto, that your life is worth living. You know, your life is worth living, and your life matters. It really does. Your life does matter on the other side here. And I know it doesn't feel that way. We're in the darkness. I didn't feel that way. I felt it was useless, worthless. Why am I even here? I failed. We're gonna have failure. I was listening to a life coach about if a boxer went into the ring and lost and really took it it was devastated by it, then he shouldn't even be in there boxing. So yes, we're going to engage in life, and we have to get up and fight. You know, there's no other way around it. It's not an easy road sometimes. Not everything's going to go smoothly. We're going to have our failures. We're going to have to be accountable, responsible for our own behaviors, and hopefully not make mistakes more than once and be accountable. But this awareness issue, and I'm looking at that new statistics about suicide. I want to just read them because it's amazing. Not amazing. It's tragedy. It's tragic. What's going on out there, especially in this high stress society, and the military men and women and the stress they're under, and not getting the support that they really need. But just going to read this from the Suicide Awareness Prevention. It was very disturbing to read because when I was writing my program years ago, actually 16 years ago, when I was attending a college course in full psychology course, it was roughly around 30,000 a year. People were killing themselves in America, and that's only what's reported. There was suicide by cop. There was accidents that the family wanted to keep it private, where it would be shameful to say that a person actually killed themselves by vehicle. So we really don't know that actual number. And it's scary because you think that could be something that is the number's high. But now they're saying each year, on over 15 years, and that's not a whole long time, but 42,773 Americans died by suicide. It's not good. There's a lot of people suffering. And as I read on, It makes suicide the 10th leading cause of death in the United States out of the 15 leading causes. The Surgeon General, I believe, made it an epidemic in 2000, that it was a medical crisis, and he put it on the top 15 of causes of death. And over 6,000 are military veterans. For every suicide, there are 25 attempts. So, people are attempting out there, resulting in over 1 million attempts annually. Over 1 million people are trying to take their life. We have all our things in our hands and all technology, and we get all this enjoyment, and we're suffering more. So something's unbalanced of what the value of things that really are. And the suicide obviously has lasting impact on individuals, families, friends, and communities. Estimated indicates the number of survivors of suicide loss in the United States is over 15 million. That's 1 in every 21 Americans. More has to be done. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. There's something going on here that I don't know if we're going to ever have the answers, but I think the people that are out there doing awareness and prevention, you got to commend them, because nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about this epidemic, and and I'm finally putting myself there, because I'm proud of the experience, but nothing speaks more profound than experience, and in the awareness of someone's illness and what's going on with them at the time and whatever life condition they're in. So this awareness is important, that you really speak to your loved ones and sit with them. And I'm a big advocate. If I see them not washing and they're sleeping too much, or always down every day, it's a constant. It's not going away. You see it week after week. This becomes, it builds up, in the thoughts of a person. Sometimes it's just instantaneously people become very depressed over tragic events, and they make impulsive decisions, and they're very successful in their attempt. It's really a difficult thing to stop unless you're there in stopping them. So obviously we're not going to it's not going to be a zero suicide rate. That's just not life. But I think my dream is to reduce it. Up to, my dream is 20-30%. That's 8,000 people a year. That's good. That's something you want to do. Got to have big dreams, big goals. And how do you put the message across about awareness? What do you say? When the person's just dragging along every day, or you might even see someone that you don't even know, and you can tell. You look at them and they're suffering hard about something. And how can you brighten their day and tell them everything's going to be okay? That's sometimes all somebody wants to hear. Not all this, medication is worth it. It's something you need when you're in a bad state. But sometimes it's just the encouragement of a person to say everything's going to be okay. Just get back to basics and taking care of yourself. And so it is a serious week. It's a serious subject. I want to. How do you how do you have fun doing this? How do you, what do you say? It's like, it cuts to the core with me, because when I was sitting there in my darkness and I didn't want to live anymore, regardless if it was over love or business loss or whatever it was, and your own insecurities, your own lack of self-love, and from your childhood, and not healing and getting the right treatment or right therapy. There's so much that's involved in somebody trying to kill themselves. It's just not, hey, they're taking the chicken way out, something bad happened, and I don't believe that. I believe it's a buildup of tragedy, sickness, and it's selfish. And I guess in one way we could say it is selfish, and we get caught up in our own misery, and that we don't love life anymore. But your life matters, and you never can give up. It's my motto. I'll always say it. Your life matters, and I wanted someone to say that to me in those words. Your life matters, Dan. and really say it directly to me and never give up. And here's the big question: you need to look right at your young boy or girl, teenagers, older people committing suicide because of age. You thinking about killing yourself? Are you really thinking about taking your own life? Because your life matters, and never give up. So let's, I want to wrap it up on this one. It hits home. It's awareness, and I don't know. I don't know. NAMI's a big group. Samaritans, you call NAMI's. If you do my drop down box, the arrow to the right, you can like, subscribe to bring the awareness to the forefront. And obviously, you call 911 and get help, or go to someone and say, I need help. I'm scared. It's okay. It's okay to be scared in life. We got to be tough every day. We can also be scared. But the main thing is balancing out and being aware and getting yourself into the right treatment program, because it's very important, because you don't want to miss out on all the good things that come in our life too, because there's a lot of good. We suffer what we need to suffer, obviously not on another person's suffering. We don't want to enjoy ourselves while we watch someone else suffer, but in our own suffering and happiness, that we suffer what we need to suffer and we enjoy what we need to enjoy. So let's bring awareness this week. Let's pay attention to people. Let's look around. Let's see who's suffering. Let's give someone a smile. Let's give someone encouragement, because life's tough, and it can be a battle for people. And we're all part of the equation, while we run around doing our thing. So just try to be aware, bring awareness, share the video, and I'll just end with what I always end with. You know, your life matters, and never give up. See you on the next video. Thank you for listening.